All right. Let's get into our next item, which of course is Cracker Barrel. Oh, it's not British Civil War. Not yet. Remember what they took from you, says Jack Posobiec. If you remember, the Cracker Barrel logo had this happy old white guy on the front of it. And there, okay, you see, well, Dylan Mulvaney. And remember what they took from you. Well, what's happening to Cracker Barrel? What is Cracker Barrel? How many of you all have been to a Cracker Barrel? It is a happy little southern, and I say southern, but it's kind of country restaurant. They sell knickknacks. They sell different things for the home. They will sell things for the holidays as they come up. And as far as I'm concerned, back in I guess it was the 90s, I feel like, they got rid of everything Confederate flag. Cracker Barrel used to be Confederate flag everywhere. Confederate flag on their mugs, Confederate flags on shirts, Confederate flags. It was this very southern charm to the establishment. People had a specific way that they hired for people that were going to be charming like this, the southern charm. I know they're all over the country now. I don't know where were they actually started. Probably like Tennessee or the Carolinas, but that's what it feels like, at least. And I do know about the name, though. So, you get this Cracker Barrel, and the cracker is used as a pejorative for white people, that they were all slave drivers, the only race that ever enslaved anybody else. And we all just drove slaves. And the crack was the crack of the whip, cracker. But actually, it comes from the fact that in old-timey stores in America, back in the day, way back in the day, crackers would be delivered in these big barrels. Cracker Barrel. Do you see where this is going? And people would congregate, and the store owner wanted this because if you have people hanging out, they'll buy things. They would congregate around these barrels and eat these crackers and chat. They would eat, and they would grab some crackers. They would sit down if there were chairs available, and very often these little store owners would make chairs available. They wanted people to hang out, buy the goods and things. And they would sit down and they would eat the cracker and they would shoot the breeze, otherwise known as shoot the shit. And so when they started Cracker Barrel, this is the kind of atmosphere they wanted to have. People sit down, this old timey. They've got all of the pictures of old America, young America, I guess I should say, young America. And when it was all white or all around the establishment, and they have things like the yokes they put on oxen, and they have a big fireplace, and they have things like this. And it's wonderful. It's a magnificent atmosphere. It was far better than it is today when it had the Confederate flags. It was a place for Southerners and everyone who identified with that vein of one of our ethnicities. Everybody who enjoyed, just as if I could go to Poland, would enjoy and identify with the ethnicity of the Polish. Another expression of my biospirit. I would love it. People felt the same way about Cracker Barrel. I wonder how many of you remember when it was full of Confederate. They sold Confederate flags, not just Confederate flags on mugs or in pictures. They sold the pictures that you will very often see at like antique shows, but they're not antiques. Certainly have reenactments. You see these in the Sutler Tint section. You'll see these beautiful prints of these paintings and of Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. There's a Confederate flag. There's snow on the ground. They're so magnificently painted that it looks like a photograph, somehow magically in full color and magnificent detail, HD detail from the period. Really beautiful works of art. They sold those. You could literally buy, those sticks that are like that with a Confederate flag on it, the naval jack, or it's also was the Army of Tennessee flag, the rectangular St. Andrew's cross with the 13 stars. You could buy those there. It's a wonderful place. It was much more, maybe you could say the way that this word real is used now, that it was raw, it's real, it's organic. It's everything because of anti-whiteism and it infecting this crony capitalism or just capitalism or whatever you want to however you want to term it, infecting that. You see this flattening into anti-whiteism, into anti-whiteism. So getting rid of all of the flavor, all of the different hues across the white race, only the white race, not for the purpose of a uniformity that is more profitable. No, it would be more profitable to business owners if you could give people a unique experience in the Southland or in a Cracker Barrel, wherever it is, so that you live in Michigan, you live in Wisconsin, but there is a Cracker Barrel there. So you go to the Cracker Barrel and you are down home in the Southland by going to that would be more profitable. But because of anti-whiteism, everything that is us appears to just be getting flattened and made monochromatic, when in reality, it's just being white erased. The same does not hold true for some reason because of anti-whiteism when it comes to Asian restaurants or black restaurants or on and on and on. In fact, the black expression of the Southland is fed, is celebrated in mainstream media by the big companies. So that is made to be more vivid, more colorful, more, you can't qualify unique, but more of its own kind, more of its own identity. Not so for us. And here we have this Gunther guy who is a typical cuck conservative. He won't talk about anti-whiteism. He won't talk about anti-whites. When we are being victimized as a group, he calls it racism. He won't talk about white people being victimized. However, Gunther will talk about blacks being victimized. What a surprise when it comes to cucks. Cracker Barrel ruined their entire brand. So another big step, getting rid of taking out the soul. When you took the Confederate flag out of Cracker Barrel, you took the soul out of it. And it's kind of just been wandering around on these two rubbery legs, holding on to some of the frivolous trivialities that you could see, the accoutrements of what had been there, but still was at least a corpse that resembled what it had been. Well, now that's being white erased as well. Cracker Barrel has ruined their entire brand. WTF is wrong with these people. WTF, it's anti-whiteism. I'm not going to play the audio first on this. I just want you to see what it looks like.
Saw something on the internet. Dude said he ate.
I'm not going to play the audio at first because I just want you to look at it. This is the new look of Cracker Barrel, and it really has had what was left of its identity stripped from it, and I doubt it will survive. Now, the reason we're not playing the audio is because this black guy here is a comedian that specializes in making fun of white people. You remember, you hear these white people across, especially the schmuck sphere, and they can't get enough of, we need to be able to make fun of each other. We need to have race jokes again. They get to have race jokes. They're going to lead the way with race jokes. There's no remedy for you there, schmucks. And same thing with the cucks that are talking. All of these cucks are talking about, what's this cartoon that they're all into is being talked about now? South Park. And they're all like, just give me the jokes and let's be able to make fun of each other because we don't want an ideology. We just want laughs because we're selfish individualists. You're going to get your laughs. It's going to be at your expense. It's going to be at your expense. When you can go back during my lifetime when there were some jokes could be made about other racial groups here and there. But you know who kicks ass in that environment? Anti-whites do. So you're gonna find out once again. You're gonna have your white ass kicked all around the playground. Once again, your white ass is gonna get kicked. So here you have this black comedian. Probably won't play it like that. Here you have you getting your ass kicked
in a remodeled Cracker Barrel, and he hated it. And I want to join in on the hate. If the Cracker Barrel don't look like the Jim Crow South, I can't eat there. You gotta have.
You better, hey, cucks out there. You better laugh. Hey, you schmucks out there. You better laugh when they crush you with jokes about white people, because that's what you begged for.
The racism aesthetic. You gotta have the.
He gotta have the racism aesthetic. Racism.
Rocking chairs, and the hint of segregation in the air. If I don't feel like I'm on the set of Sinners.
Now, what would a perfect idiotic schmuck say? He would hear this and he'd be like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be like. You just really find a roof.
And how do I know I'm in a Cracker Barrel? This is a gentrified Cracker Barrel. They done took all the character out of it, and I know the edges of the pancake ain't burnt. I gotta feel like somebody wants to say, good morning, boy. And I go in with respect. And no respect at all.
Figure Fretter says, it is worse when you kick your own ass. Yeah, they asked for this. Get ready for the jokes about white males that are just gonna crush. It's gonna come from every angle. They're gonna be laughing in your faces endlessly.
I feel like they want me to work there, but they don't want to pay me ever. And I've got to live there.
And anti-whites, who will they put on stage at the biggest performances for comedy? Who will they tell you? What comedians will they tell you about? The anti-white comedians. Those will be the ones that they tell you about. Those will be the ones they put in everybody's faces. Those will be the ones that all the white women know the names of.
That's Cracker Barrel's thing. You take that away, what is it? A Denny's, IHOP, a place I don't want to be at.
Here she is. The girl boss behind this anti-whiteism. They got rid of a white guy from a logo, and they are celebrating, patting themselves on the back for it.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happen to be in.
She sounds like she is a child, like one of the girls on that island, doesn't she? Honestly, I'm making 7 figures as the CEO of Cracker Barrel. I'm a girl boss, totally in charge. Everybody loves what I've done with it. I am jaguaring the shit out of Cracker Barrel. Except, unfortunately, unlike Jaguar, which enjoyed for a very long time a status as the rich man's automobile, the elite's automobile, the accessible automobile for the upper middle class and above, the accessible one that can easily be recouped after it's ruined, after the image is ruined. They can easily go back to these people with more muscular looking designs and etc. You're not going to be able to do that in Cracker Barrel, because being more muscular in Jaguar for a targeted audience of high earners in the managerial makeup of Western civilization, corporate America in Western civilization, doesn't necessitate them being oppositional to anti-whiteism. But with Cracker Barrel, it would be. So this is just death. And this is going to be like so many other institutions where female CEOs come in and ruin everything and do a piss poor job.
Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together, and it's like every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, How can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, how do I just want to just get rid of all the white things in here? I just want to get rid of it. Let's make it sterile. Let's make it look like the guy was saying, like a Denny's.
Really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests.
It's not wonderful because it's still too white. So that's not wonderful.
Our team members.
Gentlemen, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to
And
be
thank
here.
you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
You know, the thing is there are a lot of black Southerners who like to go in there and get their grits and like to go in. And so I don't know. They're going to have to, I guess, keep that on the menu. Maybe they'll give them new names or I don't know.
All right. Thank you. Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to step?
Look at it. Isn't it interesting? The show here is all black.
Hey,
The peg game is staying.
It's all non-white, too.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs, fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay. So that would be a deal breaker.
All right. So then we have Cracker Barrel isn't about biscuits and gravy anymore. It's about pushing woke agenda. You mean anti-white agenda. LGBTQ Alliance. Look at this. Cracker Barrel supporting the anti-whiteism, home office, and field employees to bring their whole selves. I just want you to be a cook. I just want you to be a greeter. I just want you to be a waiter or waitress. I don't want your whole self. Bring their whole selves to work while strengthening Cracker Barrel's relationship to the LGBTQ plus anti-white community. Look at this moron. Sickle and hammer? Ha! That's funny. Sickle and hammer? Shut the fuck up. All right, here she is, folks. The CEO of Cracker Barrel is as woke as they come. She is destroying a once great American brand. There's the old signage that you would see. Here's the new. And I thought we had, maybe we do have I thought I added it, but maybe I didn't. An article associated with this. Let's see. Yes, I don't know how it didn't end up on the screen, but it is there now. Cracker Barrel's controversial rebrand won't be stopped. Here's how the menus are changing. Yeah, the menu. Cracker Barrel is barreling along with its modern makeover after months of criticism from fans over the chain's remodeling efforts. Cracker Barrel announced a logo. Yeah, I had read about a couple of months back about them changing the decor and I guess the menu in the Cracker Barrels in the upper Midwest, and the people were not happy. They want that experience. But it's gone. After months of criticism from fans all over the remodeling efforts, Cracker Barrel announced a logo change and menu updates. For the first time in 48 years, the Cracker Barrel logo will be text only with no images. When Cracker Barrel first opened in 1969, it had a logo with just text, but in 77, it updated its logo to have the instantly recognizable man resting by a barrel. The restaurant said that this new logo, quote, is now rooted even more closely to the iconic barrel shape and word mark that started it all. So it's been white erased. Do you say anything by saying that it's woke? Do you say anything by saying that it's wokeified? Do you say anything with any other construction than it's been white erased? No, you don't. It also noted that farm fresh scrambled eggs and buttermilk biscuits were the inspiration behind the color palette, the new updates, all the more iconic American. It's positions, okay? Yes, it's position, the iconic American brand. We believe in the goodness of country hospitality without white people, without white norms, without white expression, totally white erased. A spirit that has always defined us. Our story hasn't changed. Our values haven't changed. They have changed. They've become radically anti-white every year that goes by. If you want to fix that, you've got to use the Go Free dialogic. With, quote, all the more, we're honoring our legacy while bringing fresh energy and thoughtful craftsmanship and heartfelt hospitality to our guests this fall. Sarah Moore, come on with these commercials. Okay, we believe goodness. Okay, yeah, where was I? Sarah Moore, Chief Marketing Officer. Oh, so the Chief Marketing Officer is also a girl boss. Man, do you hate him? Do you hate the West enough yet? Do you hate it enough to get active with the tool that works? Do you hate it enough? She's going to be another 6-figure. I don't know if it's in-house, she could potentially be 7-figure salary. She's probably 7 figures at the end of the day with all the perquisites, the benefits, and white erasing everything so that everybody feels good. Everybody feels included in our little nursery room. Don't you feel included? Except for the white kid. He doesn't feel included. Well, he can become a girl. Then he'll be included. This comes as the restaurant has received negative feedback. This comes as the restaurant has received negative feedback. So while these anti-white girl bosses are destroying a brand, a restaurant that has been there for some people their whole lives, since 1969, while they're in the midst of destroying it, people are saying, whoa, what are you doing? Don't do this. I remember back when they took the Confederate flags out and people freaked out. But how did they freak out? What tools did they use? They used conservative and schmuck tools. So the Confederate flags are gone. Everything Southern about it is gone. It's a corpse. It's a zombie walking around. Naturally, the rest of it has to go. So just every single time, remember this. And in this community, share it with folks who come in, because they come in incessantly. I know you have to deal with it. I got to deal with it. They come in incessantly. They're like, what? You're not doing it the schmuck? You're not doing it the cuck way? You're not doing it the schmuck way? Tell them, hey, Cracker Barrel, in this example, used to be covered in Confederate flags. Cuck and schmuck tools were used to prevent those from being taken away. They're gone since the 90s. And now this change. So your tools suck, to put it in colloquial terms. Time to move on to something else. God, everything I love and care about is being totally destroyed. Same thing with you. For some of us, some things are going faster, other things are going slower. It's all being destroyed. Nobody cares. You can't even go out into the white sympathetic sphere, implicit or explicit, find people who care about your thing getting destroyed. They want to reroute you in one of their 2 directions. I want to fight for what's mine. I want to point out where we're victimized. By the way, all of that works. I don't want to take up these gelded and asinine, childish approaches. When Cracker Barrel took away the last piece of nostalgia you had left, Rachel Love captioned under one of these TikTok, this comes as the restaurant received getting rid of the dark and rustic aesthetic in favor of a modern farmhouse aesthetic. Who wants a modern farmhouse aesthetic? Is heartbreaking, that person wrote. It was just heartbreak. My 14-year-old son was devastated. Look at this. Look at this place. What garbage. We deeply appreciate the passion our guests have for our brand. Then put it back to the way it was. before the 90s. The updates under you're going to be, if you're white, you're always going to be not anti-white enough. Even if you white erase something today, Sarah, or whatever her name, what's her name? Sarah, the CEO. Even if you white erase something today, tomorrow, that won't be enough. That will have not been anti-white enough. The updates underway in our stores are inspired by the voices of both our guests and team members. This is so typical for anti-whites. Everybody that goes there is complaining about it, but they're like, the voices of our customers demand this. It's democracy in action. And reflect our ongoing commitment to make our stores feel brighter and even more. No, the whole thing was that it was supposed to have like this built out barn feeling to it. That's what makes it epic, you idiots. But they got to white erase it. I guess maybe if this doesn't work out, then the last gasping breath will be to go back to a built out barn look to it, but it'll be transformed into a black farmer's experience. Then that'll be it. Then the number of videos that show up on that all black rap stars website that take place in the new Cracker Barrel will go through the roof, and then there'll be no more Cracker Barrel. Country music artist Jordan Davis will star in a new commercial. I don't know who that is. Is that even a white person? Cracker Barrel's always felt like home. This is something I bring in my music. Okay, shut up. Cracker Barrel treating everyone in the U.S. Complimentary classic side. Okay, whatever. Okay, so this is the changes in the menu, and I guess that's it for the article. Well, there you have it. Cracker Barrel is done thanks to this demon, anti-white demon. Embracing, it's going to be one thing after another that she'll use. It's supposed to be, and this will be the cuck argument. It's just supposed to be about serving a good meal, no ideology. And then if Cracker Barrel goes into the red, they'll pull back the ideology a little bit. They'll sell you some more to get back into the black for a little bit longer, just like we've watched 2 times Victoria's Secret do that since I've been streaming. It'll pull it back a little bit, and then the cucks will say, okay, it's good now. I didn't want no, I want ideology. I want white well-being in everything. You're not going to have a void. You're not going to have pure mercantile. You're not going to have pure capitalism. You're not going to have pure economy, because that doesn't resonate with the human animal. You need emotion. You need ideology. Whether that ideology is more religion or more what I guess the religious people would say are man-made schools of thought, you need that for human beings. We're not lab rats. Lab rats aren't lab rats. You need another species that isn't human at all. Maybe AI, maybe capitalism, maybe sterile capitalism, where there's no, I just don't want an ideology. Can go with this void in it and will work fine for robots, but not for humans. If there's a void, something will fill it. And that something across the West is anti-whiteism. So no, I don't want breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Cracker Barrel without ideology. I want it with white well-being. I want to see in the signage. I want to see white well-being in the signage. I want to see white well-being on the menu. I want to see partnerships with the Foundation for White Well-Being from Cracker Barrel. That's what I want to see. We're in this state because we don't have a people. Because 500 are watching at this very moment a different content creation that is pure schmuckery, that nothing they can affect or touch in the world. That's why. So now I have to lose what I care about. You're all going to lose it. You're all going to lose it.